Hi, I'm Bob with Purdue's Manufacturing Extension Partnership. In this module, we'll review the infrastructure requirements to consider for a technology deployment project. Deploying new technology in a manufacturing environment involves addressing several key infrastructure components to ensure smooth integration and optimal performance. Let's look at the different types of infrastructure that could be needed for a successful technology deployment. First, let's consider the physical infrastructure and evaluate the workspace for any needed facility modifications. Identify a dedicated deployment area, which is a specific area within the facility for staging and testing the new technology before full deployment. In the case of the Cobot project, the areas in front of and adjacent to the CNC machines were an ideal location for deployment. For the two projects utilizing machine monitoring and data collection platforms, the deployment area was spread across the entire production area. Ensure there is adequate installation space for equipment. You'll need sufficient floor space for installing new machinery, robotics, sensors, or IoT devices, depending upon the technology being deployed. For the Cobot project, space was not only needed in front of the CNC machines, but also behind the machines for accessing the internal electronics to interface the new auto door system with the CNC controls. The sensor installations for the machine monitoring projects also required access to the internal wiring for the machines being monitored. So ensuring space was available to reach those access panels was important. Also consider the storage and workshop space needed for spare parts and tools. Space for storing spare parts, tools, and equipment may be needed for ongoing maintenance or future upgrades. Another major physical infrastructure consideration is the power supply and other utilities. Ensure the facility's electrical system can handle the increased load from the new equipment, robotics, or automated machinery. The cobots for the machine tending project only needed 120 volt power, so a standard wall outlet was adequate. The auto door system operated on a 22 volt system, and power was able to be supplied through an electrical connection inside the CNC machines. For the machine monitoring sensors, the power would be supplied through a USB connection to a standard power adapter plug inserted into a wall outlet. To protect sensitive equipment and avoid costly downtime in case of power failures, you may want to consider the need for backup power and the installation of an uninterrupted power supply system, or UPS, as they're commonly called. Some new technologies may require compressed air, so if pneumatic equipment will be installed, ensure your facility has adequate air supply pressure and volume available. In the case of the Cobot project, compressed air was used for the end-of-arm grippers to enable adjustable grip strength, so the team confirmed that there was access to a suitable air supply line. Also, you may need to evaluate cooling and climate control systems. Adjustments or upgrades to heating and air conditioning systems may be needed to maintain proper environmental conditions for sensitive technology. Ventilation or air filtration systems may be needed if the production environment has a high amount of air particulates. Dust, oil droplets, and other particulate matter can clog screens on cooling fans used to keep robotic control systems below a certain temperature. For the Cobot, the screen for the cooling fan on the Cobot control system would need to be periodically inspected. These are some of the key physical infrastructure requirements. Beyond just the physical infrastructure, the IT infrastructure plays a key role in the success of a digital manufacturing technology deployment. One of the first areas to evaluate is your company's wireless network. Does your facility have a robust local area network, or LAN, and a high-speed wireless network, Wi-Fi or 5G, to support real-time data exchange between robots, machines, sensors, and central servers? Is there a strong Wi-Fi signal available in the location where the new technology will be operating? If not, you may need to install Wi-Fi extenders or utilize a mesh network system. Do the machine interfaces use Ethernet IP or industrial network protocols? Some technologies require the integration of industrial protocols like EtherCAT, Modbus, or Profibus for communication between automation systems, devices, and controllers. For the machine monitoring project in Connecticut, there were many legacy machines that did not have networking capabilities, so the sensors selected for the project utilized edge devices and gateways to collect and send data. Edge devices are local devices to process data near the source, like a sensor or a robot. For the machine monitoring project in Connecticut, an external current clamp was connected to a machine power cable to detect the operational status of the machine based on the current flow. The current signal was then transmitted to an edge device to upload the signal to a cloud-based software platform that's hosted on AWS. Some industries and businesses avoid using cloud-based systems due to cybersecurity concerns. in which case local data storage may be part of the vital infrastructure needs for the project. Data backup and disaster recovery are other key elements of the IT infrastructure. It's important to have a system that regularly backs up data, both local and cloud, to ensure redundancy and help prevent data loss. It's additionally vital to have a disaster recovery solution. Have a plan for restoring systems and data in the event of a catastrophic failure or a cyber attack. This may involve having an off-site backup that remains isolated from your network to keep it safe from bad actors. Many manufacturers prefer to outsource the data backup and recovery to a third-party solution provider. Just make sure that you routinely validate your data is actually being backed up. It's easy to forget about this once you've hired a third party to manage your data backups, but sometimes an error occurs that interferes with the backup process and it goes undetected until you need to restore your data only to find out that the last backup took place over a year ago or longer. Just as important as data backup and recovery is your cybersecurity infrastructure. And there are several elements of this, such as encryption and secure communications across networks and over the internet. Secure data transfers, especially for sensitive data like proprietary designs or employee data, is often mandatory for some industries, especially companies serving the defense industry. Access control and authentication systems. There are secure authentication mechanisms to control access to technology systems, like biometrics or two-factor authentication. There are VPNs, or virtual private networks. A secure virtual private network can protect data transfers between the facility and remote services, such as monitoring, diagnostics, or other cloud-based analytics. Firewalls and intrusion detection systems are network security measures to protect against cybersecurity threats, especially for IoT-connected devices and remote access points. Role-based access control, which are systems for ensuring that only authorized personnel have access to sensitive technology or data. For example, the Cobot project had role-based access control as part of the system design. Operator access was limited to running, pausing, or stopping the Cobot program. A separate administrator account was established that enabled full access to the Cobot controls, including the ability to modify the Cobot programs running on the factory floor. In summary, the infrastructure requirements for a technology deployment project in a manufacturing facility will vary depending on the specific technology being implemented, the existing facility setup, and the scale of deployment. Addressing these requirements thoroughly will help ensure the project is executed smoothly and efficiently while minimizing risks and maximizing the return on investment.